Hello, Guardians. Today is March 10th, 2023, Raid Race Day. My name is Danfinity, and welcome to Destiny Digest. Today is an exciting day, Guardians. It is the kickoff of the 48-hour raid race starting at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I know there's a lot of people who are listening right now that are either competing or have competed this past week. Good luck or congratulations, whichever fits in. I hope you find the raid to be an amazing experience. Personally, I'll be going in on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Danfinity, at around 5 p.m. Eastern. That's when my team can get together to give it the old college try to get that contest emblem. This week on the show, we have special guest Matt Goes Buck. Matt is a member of my stream team Beardo. He's a nitty-gritty buildcraft dude that does awesome TikTok videos that you should check out on his TikTok, Matt Goes Buck. Not only that, but he's also been documenting his personal quest to get a positive KD in each season of Destiny 2. You should be sure to check him out. But first, let's get into the news of the week. On Wednesday, March 8th, Bungie released Destiny Hotfix 7.0.0.3. This hotfix came in fixing issues with the Silkstrike Super Light Attack for Hunter. It was apparently doing a hidden double damage. They removed the critical strike at the tip of the dart and instead granted the critical strike behavior to the full length of the dart. They then tuned the damage to compensate. They also fixed issues with Arcstrider's disorienting blow, as well as issues that have caused the commendation screen to crash. Throughout the week, we've been seeing different bugs. It's kind of par for the course for any major release in Destiny 2, either Invisible Guardians or Invisible Weapons, as well as I have had the game crash several times just playing on Neomuna. I don't know if there's something about Neomuna specifically that is causing my game to crash on PS5, but it always seems to be when there's a large density of ads around. I'm hoping that that gets investigated too. This week at Bungie, we got more details about the raid race. This is the first raid race that is actually being hosted by Twitch rivals, and a huge swath of the Destiny community and directory got chosen to be a part of it. So no matter where you watch, as long as the person playing is a participant in the Twitch Rivals event, you'll be able to get the Dim Italics emblem. If you watch the Twitch Rivals stream or a participating partner or affiliate stream for at least 2 hours, you can receive the Particle Acceleration emblem, which I personally think is the better looking of the two, as a Twitch drop by watching anyone streaming Destiny 2 for 2 hours during the first 48 hours of the Root of Nightmares raid race. The rules are simple for the raid race. Contest mode will launch and be enabled for 48 hours starting at 9 a.m. PST or 12:30 p.m. Eastern on March 10th and ending at 10 a.m. PST on March 12th. You will need to be at 1780 power to be at the cap for all of the encounters. That means you can't go over the level. You are capped at 1780, which I think is a huge win, at least to be able to enter into the raid race, and fairly easy to hit within the 2 weeks that Lightfall has been available. Contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter of the raid for the full 48 hours of the race. Artifact power is enabled, but only provides benefits to players up to the cap of 1780. The list of items and armor mods that are unavailable during the raid race. For weapons, we have the Grand Overture Exotic Machine Gun, Fighting Lion Exotic Grenade Launcher, Winterbite Exotic Glaive, the Jotun Exotic Fusion Rifle, and the Hierarchy of Knees Exotic Bow. They didn't say anything about Vexcalibur in there, but then again, who brings a glaive into a raid? Probably me, let's be honest. Armor and mods, Citan's Ramparts Titan Exotic Gauntlets, the Thread of Ascent Strand Fragment, which will also be disabled across the entire game, and the Empowered Finish Armor mod will all be disabled for the raid race. The first fire team to complete the raid, loot the final chest, and return to orbit, that's very important, will be crowned the winner of the world first race once the team reviews their clear. As always, Bungie will review and validate the winners, and that will take some time. To celebrate, all 6 members of the winning fire team will receive world's first title belts. And to give the server some space to breathe, there will be no bounty or weapon crafting progress for combatant kills below boss tier within raid while contest mode is enabled. From the TWAB, we got a pretty good look at the belt. It's got this nice little magenta hue to it. We also got a look at the raid jacket, which is probably the first one that I'm looking at Man, am I gonna try to get that jacket? Moving on to the new revelations and rewards to come section of the TWAB. If you listened to last week's episode where I did my breakdown of how I felt about the Destiny 2 Lightfall campaign, I think you'll be familiar with some of my criticisms about there not being a lot of detail about the Veil. I think that was also across the entire community. It just didn't feel like a fleshed out plot point. So Bungie has taken to the TWAB this week in order to address some of those concerns. Quoting from the TWAB here. As mentioned in last week's TWAB, a new year of storytelling kicked off with Lightfall and will continue through our seasons between now and the final shape. While we're just a week into Season of Defiance and we don't always share future narrative details this far in advance, we feel it's important to give everyone a preview of a particular quest we're bringing to Neomuna in Season of the Deep, as well as the rewards it will provide. Throughout this quest, players will explore the city to learn about the nature of the Veil through Osiris's research and newly uncovered Ishtar collective data. This brief pursuit will be available to all Lightfall owners and will take place separately from the events of Season of the Deep. As a reward for completing the final step, players will gain access to 3 new Strand aspects, 1 per class, to add even more depth and creativity to their builds, and we're excited to reveal their names today. The Titan will get the Flechette Storm, Hunter, Threaded Spectre, and Warlock, the Wanderer. Speculate away. We'll have more to share on these as we get closer to Season of the Deep. Note that these new aspects are planned to be earned by completing the upcoming quests, rather than requiring additional Strand meditations to unlock. The quests will also remain available in Neomuna in perpetuity for all Lightfall owners, so you won't miss out on a chance to pick it up after Year 6 comes to a close. As an additional reward, Lightfall owners will also get their hands on the new legendary weapon upon completing this quest, and then they show a close-up of the weapon, and it is pretty sick looking. I'll have a link in the show notes for you to go see it. The last bit of bolded news in the TWAB was that Trials of Osiris, that was going to take place on March 24th, is now going to take place on the 17th of March, and Iron Banner, which was going to take place on the 14th of March, is now going to take place on the 21st. So they're just swapping dates there. Just boop, just swapping them. That all said, I've been having a lot of fun with the post-Lightfall campaign activities in Neomuna across the game. Being a weekend, having a little bit more experience under my belt when it comes to the challenge of the game, I'm really enjoying where Destiny 2 is right now. The Vexcalibur mission, if you haven't checked that out yet, I highly recommend that you go to the EDZ, specifically the Gulch, and go and pick up a bunch of little Vex giblets that are around there. I'm not going to spoil too much, but there's a cave. You go in that cave, you're going to find yourself some treasure. That's about it for the news. Now, on to our conversation with Matt Goes Buck. Welcome to the show, man. How are you doing tonight?
Great.
Good.
Just waking up from a accidental, nap.
Those are some of the best. I accidentally hit the mic muter, whatever. Anyways, those are some of the best though. Like when you're, especially like the night before a raid race. Or just like all tucked in your.
I'll be watching. It'll be great.
Yeah. Have you participated in like a raid race in the past?
No. I thought I was this year. Some things happened and now I'm not. So
Gotcha.
I didn't feel like looking for a new
scrambling, doing the mad scramble for it.
Yeah.
I get you. So. I get you. Well, this will be my. I think this will be my third day one raid race experience.
The good thing is it's a 48-hour.
Yeah.
So I'll probably maybe throw a tweet out there Friday night or Saturday if teams are struggling and teams are starting to dismantle if they need a 6.
I'll fill.
I'll be a filler for sure.
Heck yeah. So Matt, before we go too deep, why don't you introduce the folks at home where they can find you on the internet, just in case they don't make it all the way to the end of the episode, and what you do in the community.
Yeah. If I am not alive, Twitter at Matt Goes Buck. Also TikTok. I do a lot of TikTok 60-second Destiny 2 build breakdowns, showing you a build in full from aspects to fragments to mods to weapons to exotics as quickly as I can in hopefully less than 60 seconds, because then it also ends up as a YouTube short if it's under 60 seconds. Both of those usernames are Matt Goes Buck, and then obviously Twitch live streams every Monday night and Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central at Matt Goes Buck. on Twitch.
Heck yeah. So what got you, how did you start out in Destiny?
So I was not a Destiny 1 player.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Tom Clancy's The Division 1 player.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I was hiding. I was a big build crafter for the Division community, as well as a Dark Zone PvP bully. So I kind of got big over there. I was a Ubisoft star player for Division 1 E3 2000, what was that, 2018 maybe? 2017 invitee. And then Division 2 was announced. Everyone was very excited. And then it released, and then it was not very exciting.
Yeah. I remember Division 1, like it captured something that Division 2 I don't think really had a chance to. Like,
yeah.
There's something about just the setting of desolate New York City, post-Christmas, stuff just flying around, and everybody
it's
bundled
definitely
up.
not the same feeling.
Yeah.
Summer Washington D.C., which I mean that can get I can see where they're going for that, but where I think they majorly messed up was the best part for most players about Division 1 was the Dark Zone. 24 player capped instance where anything goes. And in Division 2, it is a 12-person player cap, and there's 3 different Dark Zones. So you're not really going to run into too many, problems.
They split their playlist too far.
Big time. Yeah, you're pretty much probably going to run into the same three or four people in there at all times. They got rid of a lot of their standalone PvP. They had a 4v4 called Skirmish. They had an 8v8 PvE VP called Last Stand. They got rid of that. Just a bunch of misses. They got rid of their survival. They had the whole PUBG style Division 1 where you dropped in and you had to extract within an hour or the virus killed you.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. You were roaming through the blizzard like it was whiteout conditions, and that was a lot of fun. I remember liking that. I was kind of touch and go with Division.
Yeah,
just because like it felt like I could pick it up and put it down fairly easy.
It had a lot of the similar stuff that Destiny offers. Build crafting, stats mattered, exotics, stuff like that. Interesting thing with Division was you had to build into critical hit chance. It wasn't just hit this enemy's crit spot and it was a guaranteed crit. Yeah, so that was cool. But yeah, Division 2 did not stick with a lot of people, so I picked up Destiny 2, and here we are.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
Took a while to get here. I have been playing Destiny 2 since, beta, but it's a hard community to crack.
That's something that I'm kind of seeing from the outside, or from the inside. Like
it is very difficult. I still have struggles, but TikTok's doing very, very well. I recently revamped an old Division 1 Discord server and stripped it completely down, and now we're almost at 700 Destiny members in there. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we're getting there.
So I guess my next couple questions are like, what similarities are you finding between Destiny 2 and Division 1, or like the Division franchise? Because I think that there are some things that they pulled from in order to make Destiny 2 some of their systems a little bit more palatable. And
the new loadout system is very Division 1. Division 1 had loadouts in their game, and it was as simple, name it, give it an icon, and save it, and you can easily swap back and forth. That's very Division 1. A lot of the new mod system seems very Division 1-y, simplified, but not. I feel like they tried to nerf us is what it looks like, but they actually made us stronger because it's a lot easier to proc a lot of these buffs we have now.
Yeah, I was noticing that. Like,
yeah,
I was like, man, it's gonna be so daunting to go in and learn how to mod everything out, because I'm a player who I don't really think about my loadout all that much. It's like whatever my gear is, I know I'll put max DR on, and then
we'll make it work.
Yeah, exactly. A glaive, a rocket or two, a few other things here and there. We'll get through. It'll be fine. It doesn't really matter that much. Since Lightfall, it seems they've increased the difficulty, so it does make me think more about what I'm bringing to activities. But
yeah,
the mod system does feel more simplified. It feels like, oh, I can throw a couple of these, like I can throw a finder on for myself and a scout for some buds for heavy, and that'll help out a little bit. Like,
and prior you had to match your weapon energy type to your subclass energy type. And, you know, to be able to, like, you know, proc those buffs like Font of Might, you had to have an arc weapon and be on arc basically to, you know, buff yourself. Now you can be on any subclass as long as you make an orb and you know, throw on called the arc weapon surge. Now you can, you know, buff that arc weapon without having to be on arc, stuff like that.
Yeah. So like when you're looking to build something for one of your 60-second build videos or just for general playtime, what are you looking for? I guess in this case, like specifically for like PvE related, what do you find, like, in speaking with some other folks, they're like, I find a thing that I want to center it around and then build into that. Do you normally find a focus like with melee or grenade and start building into that and just finding what synergies you can tangle out to, or do you have like a specific play style in mind?
Typically a play style first, or a role, if you want to call it. You know, are you looking for, you know, like an end game ad clear, or are you looking, you know, I want to do huge, you know, solo boss DPS, stuff like that. And then just kind of branch out from there, you know. Even if you're, you know, I want to make a grenade build, then you got to, you know, okay, what class has the best, you know, grenade exotics? Let's say Solar Warlock. Obviously, everybody knows Starfire Protocol is we'll say it's a little strong. we'll call it that. But yeah, it's basically just, you know, we're getting a starting point, and, you know, what kind of play style you want to do with it. Are you clearing ads? Do you want to have really good movement? Do you want to do huge DPS, stuff like that?
What builds are you finding that you're enjoying playing with now post Lightfall?
So I'll be honest, I haven't touched my Warlock. So okay. I'm sorry, Warlocks, if you're here to ask me what build you should be running in Lightfall. I do know that Void Controverse holds are still very good, and Solar Starfire Protocol is still very good. I hear Strand Warlock is great. Maybe I'll, you know, hopefully get to that this weekend and do the story on my Warlock. 6 Coyote Hunter Strand is amazing. If you use the Shackle grenades, you get 2 grenade charges, and then obviously with 6 Coyote, you get 2 dodges, which you can use as the dive to suspend. So right there, you get 4 suspension charges.
Oh God.
Yeah. So and then if you spec into you know, discipline and mobility and stuff like that, then you're getting that stuff back really quickly, and hopefully you always have a charge.
So you haven't played around with any of the Warlock stuff yet? Have you played around with Titan?
So I put out a Titan video where people were like, you can't be serious, this is not a real build, you're trolling, right? So hear me out.
Okay.
It is Caprice Horn Titan. Okay. So one, when you cast your barricade, you send out that solar shockwave, and it scorches everything. With Strand, you send out that solar shockwave that scorches everything, but it also suspends everything.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yes.
So you combine those two synergies together?
And then when you scorch enemies and, you know, deal solar damage, which Caprice already does, it gives you barricade energy. So I paired it with Prometheus Lens, which now has incandescent. So you're basically lighting an entire room on fire, and I was able to pop 5 barricades in 20 seconds.
That hurts my brain. Like that.
So it's a very, very good build. And when I first started talking about it, people are like, you're wild, but it's a good build.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm going to be trying it when I get done here.
And then if you pair it with, you can pair it with Solar Siphon on your helmet. So when you get a solar weapon or a solar kill, you'll pop some orbs on the ground, and then you just throw on 3 solar weapon surges on your legs, and right there you have a 3 times buff to your solar weapons. And then you can also do DPS with that.
That's incredible. So like, yeah, why aren't you on a day 1 team?
It happens.
Yeah. So you also have like a pretty incredible part to your story as well, where with PvP. So do you mind taking the listeners a little bit into that journey as well? Like you climbed you climbed to try to get from 0 to like, was it like 1.5 KD?
I was trying to get to positive, which is apparently the average. Apparently, I learned that the average Destiny PvPer is about a 0.8. That's about average in this game, because there's so much. It's so fast. There's so many abilities. It's not just gunplay. You got about 50 different things that can kill you in the Crucible. One of them maybe being primary weapon, but probably not.
Yeah.
So in every other game I've ever played since I've been a gamer, I was a pure PvPer. I didn't even play the story. Call of Duty, Battlefield, Medal of Honor, Halo, up to Division 1. I was a Dark Zone main. And then I tried Destiny, and I thought the PvP was the worst gaming experience I've ever had. So I avoided it. I think up until when I started to get traction on my build videos, the things people start doing is to argue with you that your builds aren't good, is they pull stats. They like to pull trials reports. They like to pull Crucible reports. They like to pull raid reports. And it's like, why is anyone going to listen to this guy? He's like a 0.7 in trials. So I said, enough's enough. I'm going to get good at PvP now. So maybe people will, start listening to me more. Yeah. So finally, I think I started 2 seasons ago. The middle of last season, I did full PvP. I was all PvP all the time. The season before that, I think the back half of the season is when I finally snapped and said, you know what, I'm going to get good at PvP. So I've been about 2 seasons now PvP main. And I lost my train of thought.
You've been 2 seasons PvP main?
Yeah. So before 2 seasons ago, I had 12 total. It sounds so terrible when I say it out loud. I had 12 total Crucible resets. Okay. In my 4 years of Destiny.
What turned you off so hard from Destiny 2's PvP experience?
I don't know. Everything was just so different. So I came from Division 1, where it was third person, which I became very, very accustomed to third person. I wish Destiny had a third person mode. I get why it doesn't, because of the whole sword peeking and everything, and it would be bad. But you can face tank the crap out of everything in Division. In Destiny, the time to kill is like a millisecond, because I've never heard the word team shot before. It's not a thing in any other game. In Destiny, it's like how you win gunfights. It's if your team isn't team shotting, you're gonna lose pretty much. So it was just a weird. It's a huge learning curve that I feel like people that have been playing Destiny for 10 years don't realize is there. Yeah. For people that are outside, I know there's that video of Shroud going around right now where he's saying like Destiny PvP, and Shroud's a great PvPer. He's saying Destiny PvP it's not good. Like from an outside perspective of somebody who doesn't play it every day. It's a rough learning curve for sure. Yeah. So before 2 seasons ago, I only had about 12 resets. I'm now at 2 seasons later, I'm at like 35 Crucible resets. Okay. So cool. In the last 2 seasons, I've done more than double the amount of Crucible resets than I've done in 5 years, to give you a picture of how much time I spend in Crucible.
Like how many hours a week is that?
When I first started the PvP journey, I was a point like 8 overall KD with about, I think Crucible Report said I was at like 220 hours. 2 seasons later, I am now a 1.1 overall KD with about 550 hours in Crucible. Okay. So like 300 hours in 2 seasons, season and a half.
Yeah, couple months, you know, like about 100 hours a month or whatever.
Well, having, you know, a 2-year-old and a full-time job. So
yeah. And making videos on the side. A lot of my
free time.
A lot of
my
things
free
going
time
on
in the Crucible. Yeah.
So like what your experience last season, what did you think of the sandbox? What did you think of climbing through that way compared to this season?
Last season was a lot of fun. There is a lot of controversial beef around any clips I post because I am not a hand cannon shotgun user, and you know, a lot of the PvP mains that I used to be terrified and avoid on Twitter.
Tony. Anyways,
no, Tony won't bully you, but a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of the PvP mains that people try to avoid, that are scary people will nicely harass you if you are not using hand cannon shotgun, and I get it.
Yeah.
I use a pulse rifle and a fusion rifle, which everybody assumes you're just the back of the map. Yeah, you camp at I'm very aggressive with my pulse rifle and my fusion rifle. I do not sit in the same spot for more than 2 seconds. I also use a 540, so it's a little different. I use rapid fire frames. Last season felt great. I went solo Lighthouse for the first time ever.
Okay, sick.
So that was cool. Yeah. This season with Lightfall, I'm seeing, so my Discord has a lot of PvP mains in it from all skill levels. You know, there's 0.5s in there, there's 4.5s in there. We run a lot of private matches. We do some tournaments with some very, very skilled PvP people, and it seems a lot of people are struggling this season with PvP. I don't know if they tweaked their skill-based matchmaking system or if they shut it off. I know they messed with a lot of stuff because they replaced freelance matchmaking with fireteam based matchmaking. Yeah, which I'm not really sure how that's being figured out because I always play solo quick play and I still match 4 stacks. So I don't know. But yeah, this season something seems off with their coding. So I match like 1.3, 1.4s now. So I'm very avid at staying on Crucible Report. I know you're not supposed to for sanity purposes, but
yeah. Generally,
since I was so big in like working to get my KD up, I like to kind of keep tabs on it to see if I'm not falling.
See improvement.
To see the improvement, to make sure I'm still doing decent. It seems like. So I'm in like 1.3 overall lobbies, but it seems like instead of just having an entire lobby of all 1.3s playing each other, they like to pin 1.7s on one team and then give the other team 0.7s to make it an average of 1.3. Oh, and it just makes a bad experience.
It makes a kind of a lopsided experience.
Yes. But then they go, well, it's an average 1.3 lobby because one's 1.7 and the other one's 0.6. So I get that a lot, and it really wasn't happening last season that much. It's pretty much happening every game this season. So I'm not sure.
Sandbox wise, what are you seeing?
A lot of the same stuff. Shotguns are still everybody's favorite special since the reticle changes. I'm not really in the lobbies yet to see a lot of snipers, hand cannon users. I still get a lot of, Ikelos, SMGs, pulse rifles, and stuff. Weapon meta-wise, it still seems about the same. Strand seems actually pretty balanced in PvP, so that's good after the whole stasis debacle when it came out.
Yeah. That's something I would think that the traversal would make it so tough to pin down.
Yeah.
But if it's like how fairly balanced do you feel it is? Like, do you think they knocked it out of the park in one, or
I honestly don't. It's not overpowered. there can be some annoyances against it, but
Mm-hmm.
nothing makes you rage about it, or saying this is broken, I'm out of here, I'm not going to touch this until they fix
Can't
it.
even
There's
move.
nothing like that going on. No, so yeah, that's the thing. Like when somebody suspends you, it puts you in third person view,
Mm-hmm.
and you can shoot back, and you can like float very slowly away,
Okay.
but you can hip fire against them. So I actually have a lot of clips of me one tapping people with fusions while suspended in third person, and it's actually kind of funny. But yeah, it's more of a like, oh, that's annoying, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah. So what for folks who are looking to improve, what are some pointers that you would give them when it comes to like coming up the lobbies, or what loadouts to kind of push?
I'm a big Solar Hunter fan.
Mm-hmm.
I first started off with every crutch you can possibly imagine in Crucible.
I mean, if it's in the game, it's in the game.
It's in the game,
Yeah.
but like I eventually you got to kind of drop them, because like you'll hit a wall where you're not improving. You're just using something that just is too much. Like I was a Solar Hunter with healing nades and Worm Husk and reload dodge, so it's like eventually you got to kind of drop some of those crutches. Honestly, just live in quick play. Just keep going in quick play. Right now is kind of the best time for people to improve because of the whole skill-based matchmaking system. Eventually, when you get into those, improvements where you're a positive KD, you're gonna hate skill-based matchmaking. But if you're still a negative overall and you're looking to just improve, you're pretty much going to be pinned against everybody else that's also a negative KD, so you're going to have a better experience. Other than that, private matches is great. I have a Discord where we run private matches pretty much every night. Like, doesn't affect your KD. It doesn't affect anything stat wise. It's just, it can be anything from like, hey, I just got this weapon roll, I want to try it and see if it melts people, or hey, I want to get good at hand cannons. Can I shoot at you for a while with this on, and you can tell me what I did wrong?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I know I keep 3-peeking. I keep 3-peeking.
Yeah. Like, well, you push there. You probably shouldn't have, because there's 4 of us around the corner. But yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Even little changes. I changed the color of my radar. It's the yellow. It pings yellow now, greenish yellow instead of red. It's easier to see. Stuff like that. Changing your reticle color too. Mine's like a neon purple.
I think I have like a blue or something like that.
Little things like that. But honestly, just living in quick play and doing private matches with people that are better. Like I always say, just let people kick your ass, and it's the best way to learn.
Yeah. How do
trials wise, there's a flawless pool and there's a non-flawless pool. If you want to have a chance at getting better in trials, but still kind of experiencing the trials experience, wait till Sunday, do the flawless pool, and try it from there. Because then you'll play people that haven't been flawless yet.
Stuff like that. You seem very, very chill about this entire process, and like that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
But like, so what keeps you grounded in that? Like, because a lot of people I know, like, some folks can have a misconception of PvP players of being like ragers, or like, and there are those, and we see everybody's seen clips of those.
Yeah, they're definitely out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not like this 24/7.
Yeah.
I'll get upset sometimes, and I'll get mad. I try not to, but I mean, it's just a game. At the end of it, doesn't affect you in real life, I guess.
Group of pixels, the whole night.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, later on in life, you're not going to try to get a home mortgage, and then they're going to pull your raid report and be like, "Well, you only had 499 clears, not 500. So sorry, can't give you the loan."
They're not going to do that for Destiny. They are going to do that in Fortnite, though. So you better get that up.
Sure.
You better get that up.
Yeah, I've actually never played that game.
So I was an early supporter of it back when it was like called Fortnite Save the World.
Yes, it looked really cool when it was the PvE only. I was kind of like into it,
defense.
And then I never tried it. And then they released the whole,
yeah,
it's a BR and everything, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that, and I was like, I'm never gonna get fast enough. I'm never gonna get good enough. to become like a god at this. So I'm not even going to try. We'll put it away for now. And
that's another thing in Destiny PvP. The movement, is a massive learning gap.
Yeah, because you can be so fast. You can get across the map in seconds.
Yep. Well, so I play on PC, but I play on a controller. So a lot of times I'm playing a mouse and keyboard player, which they can definitely look up a lot faster than I can. I feel like I'm looking up and it's like in slow-mo. I play on 14 sensitivity and it's still
okay. I was about to ask what sense.
I'm a 14 sensitivity with a 0.6 ADS modifier.
So what's the decision behind that? Like, do you normally play games with controller or?
Unless it's like World of Warcraft or New World, I'm controller.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do when I'm shooting the weapon. And on mouse and keyboard, I literally just
there's
walk
no recoil,
forward.
There's no push.
I don't know how to move my body while I'm shooting. I literally just walk forward in a straight line. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do,
dude. That's like Ricky Bobby. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yep, exactly.
Mouse and keyboard can feel like weightless, and I play on PS5, and I'm playing on controller, and I've always played on controller. When I've tried to do mouse and keyboard, it just feels so weightless, and there's no input feedback.
I don't feel comfortable either.
Yeah, you got to reach your arm all the way out here. What are you doing?
I said this to somebody in my Discord the other day, and they're like, "I don't think I could talk to you ever again." I'm also left-handed. So I would rather click a mouse with my left hand and move with my right hand. And they're like, that's weird. I don't think you should ever say that out loud again. But yeah, I would much rather I would rather use a number pad on a keyboard to move, because I feel like I'd be better at it with my right hand and aim with my left hand. But
and that concludes our interview because you're left-handed. I'm sorry. We can't.
I gotta go.
Yeah, we gotta go, guys. So, kind of like the last thing that I wanted to ask is like, how are you feeling about Lightfall so far? Like, you've gotten through the campaign.
I like it a lot. So like I said before, I was always a PvP main and I didn't touch stories really. So I'm not a big, I know I'm going to get pitchforks for this one. I'm not a big story lore person. If it's, those holograph scenes where they tell you a story, I skip it.
Okay.
I'll watch a cutscene. That's cool. Kind of like pop-up books, or I'd rather watch a movie than read a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they're talking, I skip it. So I really, a lot of people didn't like, I know a lot of people had thoughts about the campaign because they said it didn't really make sense or there wasn't really any story. But like, for me, I never watch the story or pay attention to the story anyway, so I usually just go by. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me. I just go by, hey, that looks pretty or that looks cool, and this gun feels nice, and Strand feels completely amazing. So I like Lightfall a lot.
Heck yeah! What did you? What are some weapons that you're kind of looking at?
The sidearm.
The sidearm.
The final warning is if it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Maybe elaborate on that. Like, why is it so great? Why do you like it so much?
Do you have it yet?
I do not have it yet. I've not been grinding out.
So it's like it's a smart pistol. So when you aim at an enemy, it puts like a hitbox permanently on them, and you hold the trigger and it charges it up, and when you release it, it shoots it like a normal pistol. So it's kind of got like a Devil's Rune thing going on, but though it shoots strand bullets and they auto track to whatever you looked at.
Okay.
So it kind of works like the tanks, that the secondary shot on tanks where it kind of highlights everything and then it works exactly like that, but it's a strand pistol.
So it's like a Borderlands gun. Is essentially what you're saying.
I think everybody was comparing it to Titanfall, the smart pistol, and Titanfall 2. It's the same thing as that.
Cool. Like,
but you can also, if you're on Strand subclass, and you can just go full on Strand with it. Null Composure, if you're not using that fusion rifle from a while ago, so it already has Reservoir Burst, so it's got the add clear, but now everybody gets volatile rounds if you have that unlocked on your artifact just by picking up an orb. And when you mix Reservoir Burst with volatile rounds, it's like quadruple the explosions, and you can clear a whole room in like.
So it's just a Michael Bay movie, is essentially what you're saying.
Yes. So I'm pretty much running either that sidearm or Osteo, plus Null Composure.
Incredible, man. Incredible. Well, I think that's all the questions that I had for you tonight. Thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find you on the internet, man?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok. Oh, and I guess Instagram too, if that's your kind of thing.
It's
Matt Goes Buck. Yeah.
My name's Danfinity. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and the TikTok at Danfinity, where the I's are L's. You can also find me on Twitch 3 days a week, twitch.tv/Danfinity, helping Guardians with in-game activities. If you'd like to support the show, please remember to rate and review on your podcast platform of choice. Anything you say helps us in the algorithm. And if you'd like to spend $3 a month to help keep the lights on here, head on over to coffee.com/Danfinity. That is ko-fi.com/Danfinity. All the links are in the notes for the show. Thank you so much for listening. Good luck out there. And I hope you find what you're grinding for.